Welcome to November, a month perched between seasons where the world seems to hold its breath, waiting for the next dramatic shift. This is a time of year when the weather can surprise us at every turn, and the atmosphere is alive with change. As autumn's golden leaves begin to fall, the chill of winter starts to creep in, and the tropics still simmer with energy. November stands as a bridge between two worlds. In just a matter of hours, skies can transform from bright and clear to dark and stormy. The pace of change is relentless, and it keeps everyone on their toes. Whether you're a weather enthusiast or just trying to plan your week, one day, you might find yourself enjoying a crisp autumn morning, the air fresh and invigorating, leaves crunching underfoot as you walk through a city park or forest trail. The colors of fall are at their peak, painting the landscape in brilliant reds, oranges, and golds. But the very next day, a powerful coastal storm could roll in, bringing howling winds and driving rain, or even a sudden snow squall that transforms roads and neighborhoods in minutes. November's unpredictability is legendary, and it's a reminder of nature's power. This year, November 2025 is especially active, with not just one, but two major weather stories unfolding across the globe. Meteorologists are closely monitoring the situation, as these systems have the potential to impact millions of lives. In the Caribbean, hurricane season refuses to let go. Warm ocean waters continue to fuel tropical storms, bringing relentless rain, gusty winds, and a heightened risk of flooding to vulnerable communities. Residents are keeping a close eye on forecasts, knowing that even a single storm can change everything. Meanwhile, across North America, winter is making its presence known. Arctic air masses are surging southward, bringing with them the season's first major snowfalls, icy winds, and the threat of blizzards. Cities and towns are bracing for the impact as snowplows and salt trucks prepare for action. We'll be tracking the movement of tropical moisture in the Caribbean, pinpointing areas most at risk for flooding and landslides. Our team is watching radar and satellite data around the clock to keep you informed. Then we'll shift our focus northward, where the first major winter storms of the season are already making headlines. From snow-covered highways to icy sidewalks, we'll show you what to expect and how to stay safe. And it's not just the Atlantic and North America feeling the effects of November's wild weather. In the Pacific, the Philippines is facing a particularly busy typhoon season, with powerful storms threatening coastal communities and bringing widespread flooding. Whether you're watching the tropics for the next hurricane, preparing your home for snow and ice, or simply trying to stay ahead of the forecast, this month demands attention and preparation. We'll give you the tools and information you need to stay ready for whatever comes your way. So let's break down what's happening around the world this November, and most importantly, what you need to know to keep yourself and your loved ones safe as the seasons collide. While North America cools down, the Caribbean remains warm, humid, and very wet. Tropical waves, not named storms, but still powerful, are set to bring heavy rain and thunderstorms through mid-month. Early November, a tropical wave drenches Trinidad and Tobago, with rain spreading north to Grenada, St. Lucia, and Barbados. Another potent wave is forecast to hit the Greater Antilles, especially the Dominican Republic and Jamaica, around the second week. Warm sea temperatures fuel these systems, and even with increasing wind shear, flooding remains the main threat. Rainfall totals could reach 145–175 millimeters in many islands, with Jamaica's northeast seeing even more. Residents should prepare for flash floods and mudslides, especially in mountainous areas. Central America faces the greatest risk from relentless tropical downpours this month. Deep moisture and mountainous terrain combine for catastrophic flooding and landslides. Northern Honduras, eastern Nicaragua, and Costa Rica could see 300 to 500 millimeters of rain, historic, life-threatening amounts. Rivers will overflow, roads may wash out, and mudslide risk is extreme. Belize and parts of Guatemala are also in the path, with eastern Belize expecting up to 225 millimeters. With saturated ground, even moderate rain will trigger immediate flooding. Residents must stay alert, follow local guidance, and be ready to evacuate if needed. This is not a typical rainy season. Take all warnings seriously. Let's take a moment to break down some of the key weather terms you'll hear throughout this forecast. Understanding these terms will help you make sense of what's happening in the atmosphere and why meteorologists make certain predictions. Weather lingo can sound complicated, but with a little explanation, it becomes much easier to follow along and stay informed. First, let's talk about a tropical wave. This is essentially a trough of low pressure that moves from east to west across the tropics. These waves are important because they often act as the starting point for tropical storms and hurricanes. As they travel over warm ocean waters, they can bring heavy rain, gusty winds, and sometimes even trigger the development of more severe weather systems. You'll often hear about tropical waves during hurricane season, especially when meteorologists are tracking potential storm formation. Next, a frontal boundary, often just called a front, is where two different air masses meet. For example, in the Gulf of Mexico, a front can act like a shield, blocking tropical moisture from moving northward. This boundary is crucial because it can determine whether an area experiences dry, cool air or warm, humid conditions. The interaction between these air masses can also lead to storms, changes in temperature, and shifts in wind patterns. Another important term is wind shear. Wind shear refers to a change in wind speed or direction as you go higher up in the atmosphere. When wind shear is strong, it can disrupt the organization of storms, making it harder for them to grow or become severe. On the other hand, low wind shear allows storms to develop more easily, which is why meteorologists pay close attention to this factor during hurricane season. Right now, low wind shear means we're seeing more rain and active weather in the tropics. However, as wind shear increases later in the season, it helps to break up storms and signals the end of the most active tropical period. This transition is a natural part of the seasonal weather cycle and is closely monitored by forecasters. To predict what's coming, meteorologists use forecast models like the GFS and the Euro. These sophisticated computer models take in huge amounts of atmospheric data, like temperature, humidity, wind, and pressure, and use complex equations to simulate how the weather will change over the next several days. Each model has its own strengths and weaknesses, and sometimes they show different outcomes for the same situation. That's why meteorologists don't rely on just one model. They compare several models, look for trends, and use their expertise to build the most reliable forecast possible. This process involves a lot of discussion, analysis, and sometimes even debate among the forecast team. Sometimes the models agree and give a clear picture of what's ahead. Other times, they show conflicting scenarios, which adds uncertainty to the forecast. This is why you'll often hear meteorologists talk about the range of possibilities, or forecast confidence. Uncertainty is always part of weather prediction, but understanding the reasons behind it can help you make better decisions. By learning these basic weather terms and concepts, you'll be better equipped to interpret the forecast, understand the risks, and take the right steps to stay safe and prepared, no matter what the weather brings. As the tropics pour, winter storms are brewing across the U.S. A major pattern shift is ending mild autumn weather, bringing the first real cold and snow. The plains may see a blizzard mid-month, with heavy snow and dangerous winds from Nebraska to Minnesota. The Northeast faces a complex transition, with a storm around November 9th possibly dropping heavy, wet snow from Philadelphia to New England, raising the risk of power outages. The Great Lakes will see their first lake-effect snow, with intense bands hitting areas like Buffalo and western New York. Localized blizzards could make travel nearly impossible. The winter switch is officially on. Stay alert for rapid changes and hazardous conditions. As the calendar turns deeper into November, Canada finds itself firmly in the grip of winter's icy embrace. Across the country, residents are already bundling up, and the forecast suggests that the coming weeks will bring even more intense storms and heavier snowfall. The chill in the air is unmistakable, and the first major wintry blast of the season is just the beginning. Meteorologists are tracking a series of fast-moving Alberta clippers, compact but powerful weather systems that sweep across the prairies, delivering sudden bursts of snow and sharp drops in temperature. Alongside these, larger coastal systems are brewing, threatening to blanket vast regions with snow and usher in waves of Arctic air. Canadians from coast to coast should brace for rapidly changing conditions. In the west, the Rocky Mountains and the highlands of British Columbia are preparing for significant snowfall. Ski resorts are welcoming the fresh powder, promising an early start to the season for winter sports enthusiasts. However, for travelers and truckers, these heavy snowfalls mean hazardous driving conditions, with mountain passes becoming treacherous and visibility often reduced to just a few meters. The prairie provinces in Western Ontario are also in the crosshairs, with forecasts calling for 13 to 30 centimeters of snow in some areas. Blowing and drifting snow will make rural highways especially dangerous, and whiteout conditions could develop quickly, catching drivers off guard. Communities are being urged to prepare for possible travel disruptions and to keep emergency kits handy. Around November 11th and 12th, a major weather system is expected to sweep through southern Ontario and Quebec, bringing heavy, wet snow to cities like Toronto, Montreal, and beyond. This type of snow can weigh down trees and power lines, increasing the risk of outages and making cleanup efforts more challenging for city crews and residents alike. In the northern regions, the story is all about snow. Here, autumn's colors are quickly vanishing beneath a thick, unbroken blanket of white. For many communities, this marks the true end of fall and the start of a long, relentless winter season that will last for months. Even Newfoundland is in the storm's path, with forecasts calling for more snow and blustery winds. Residents along the coast are no strangers to harsh winter weather, but this early onslaught is a reminder to stay vigilant and prepared for whatever the season may bring. With winter settling in, now is the time for Canadians to get ready. Stock up on essentials, check your emergency supplies, and prepare for power outages and tough commutes. The long Canadian winter is just getting started, and staying safe means planning ahead for whatever nature has in store. The Great Lakes to Northeast Corridor faces a roller coaster of storms and temperature swings. A fast Alberta clipper will bring a sharp temperature drop and mountain snow to the Adirondacks, Vermont, and New Hampshire. Next, widespread rain sets the stage for a high-impact coastal storm, the weekend of November 8 to 9. The GFS model hints at heavy, wet snow, up to 8 inches in parts of Ohio, Pennsylvania, and from NYC to Massachusetts. The Euro model is more reserved, but still shows significant snow for northern New England. The storm's exact track will determine if cities like Boston and New York get rain, slush, or a major snowstorm. Stay tuned, this could be the season's first big winter event. In the western Pacific, the Philippines faces a dangerous typhoon threat. Tropical storm Calamagu is intensifying, likely reaching Category 2 before hitting the central Philippines. Expect destructive winds, storm surge, and torrential rain. Flash floods and landslides are a major risk. After crossing the islands, Calamagu could strengthen further and target Vietnam as a major typhoon. Rainfall totals may reach 300–500 millimeters in both countries. Another typhoon could threaten the northern Philippines soon after, compounding the crisis. Our thoughts are with those facing these back-to-back storms. November's wild weather demands preparation and awareness. In the Caribbean and Central America, flooding is the main threat. Know your evacuation route and have essentials ready. In the US and Canada, prep your home and car for winter. Check heating, insulate pipes, and pack emergency kits. Stay off roads during storms if possible, and always check conditions before traveling. Wet, heavy snow can cause power outages. Have torches, batteries, and charged phones ready. Never use generators or grills indoors due to carbon monoxide risk. Keep a few days' food and water on hand for any major storm. Stay informed with reliable weather sources and apps. With a little planning, we can all weather November's storms safely.